Here now it comes, and my body will draw. Here now it comes, and my body will draw. Here now it comes, my body will draw. I can see, here now it comes, my body will draw. I can
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just doing some audio checks and stuff because I was having some technical difficulties with the microphone and things like that. I'm actually, when I see my face pop up again here, I'm going to see if it sounds good because that was my big thing. Works good. Um, okay, so it's still kind of jittery, but whatever, man. This is just a super impromptu thing, so I'm not gonna harp on it too much. Not gonna try to be too technical. Um, but what I wanted to do is just because I like so me and my wife just got back from a little business trip, and um, while we were driving home, this song played on my YouTube Music, and I just can't get it out of my head. And it made me realize a couple of things. If you look at some of my posts, were about how music, just music in general, uh, the music that I tend to gravitate toward, which is just lyrically dense, if that's a way to put it, lyrically dense. Just that there's a lot of meaning to it, and there is a lot of um, layers to it. And it's not necessarily that you got like a couple of double entendres or something like that. Funny quips and sayings and multiple meanings, but just depth. If I could, just a simple way to put it is just depth. Something that speaks to the soul almost is what I would say as well. Just something that um, uh, speaks to you on an emotional level, and it causes you to dig deeper. It's kind of like when I study the Bible, and like you see different meanings and things attached together, different archetypes, different themes attached together. And so this song that I ran across was Greta Von Fleet, and it's Heat Above. Now, this is the first time I've ever heard of Greta Von Fleet. It's actually a group of brothers, except for one guy. I think the drummer is not one of the brothers, but they're all related. They're all brothers, and their first album they sounded a lot like Led Zeppelin, and so a lot of people hated on them and stuff like that. But this album, again, this is the first song I've ever heard from them, and it just swept me away. It just blew me away. The sound quality of it was great. So then, like again, this song has just been stuck in my head. You can even ask my wife. Like I played it 3 or 4 times in the car, and then she was a little jet lagged, and so she took a nap, and I was just kept listening to it over and over again. And I actually started reading the lyrics, and there's just so much depth lyrically in it. And I tend to gravitate towards songs that are like that. I tend to like those songs. Not that I don't listen to, the ones that don't really have a whole lot of, in-depth meaning or anything like that. But I tend to gravitate toward these particular songs. They are the ones that stick with me, and they're the ones that I really push a lot and tell people, "Hey, man, you need to listen to this song." So what I wanted to do, so in my listening and things like that, one of the things I wanted to do was, or one of the things I started to do was watch reaction videos, and a lot of the reaction videos are people talking about the sound quality, the way they sound. Do they still sound like Led Zeppelin and that kind of stuff? And that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the lyrics because I think the lyrics are very um, dense. They're just so deep. They're so rich with meaning. And that could just be me placing that emphasis on it. I do want to go ahead and like let's throw out a disclaimer here. This is my interpretation of the lyrics, and the front man for um, Greta Von Fleet, Greta Von Fleet, has said that he likes when music kind of has, it means something different to other people. And so what I like to do is I was just reading into the lyrics. And so this is kind of the meaning that I read it, you know, I feel like I read out of it, not into it. Like I'm not placing this into it. I feel like I'm pulling it out of it. Because I did listen to a few of their other tracks, and this meaning still, these threads, these meanings still hold true. So the actual album that this song is on is called, I think it's called, hold on, let me look it up real quick. Greta Von Fleet album, The Battle at Garden's Gate. That's the name of this. That's the name of this album, and it. How can I? So like, it immediately calls to mind. It immediately calls to mind biblical themes for me. I don't know if that's what they are. I don't know if they're Christians. I don't know if they have those biblical themes. But the battle part is really what sticks out to me, is that a lot of their songs are there's, they talk about ringing of broken bells, which is kind of, it sounds like a religious theme to me, because they talk about the living and the dead, and sinners come to drink the wine and break the bread. And so the broken bell sounds a lot like clergy that doesn't really do their job. People can't really go to the clergy anymore because there's just so much animosity there toward them from people's history and things like that. And so they don't feel that they can go to the church anymore. And so those are broken bells. That's what I get from that. Again, disclaimer, I might be reading my own interpretations of this. But again, I just feel like it's so lyrically packed, and I feel like it is conducive of that. And so I think that this, when it talks about this battle, I think that a lot of the themes that are kind of running through this album is just kind of the battles that we have, wars that we wage, and I think it's really just about violence in general, and how what they're trying to perpetuate is like this kind of peace, this kind of peace. And we still even fight peacefully for people who are in the midst of battles and wars and violence and things like that. So what I want to do is I want to move over to actually reacting to this video. So this is another disclaimer. This is Jimmy Kimmel Live. It was their performance. I could have played the actual audio thingy, but I really like the performance because I really want you to see his face too. I'm gonna try to not interrupt too much. I'm probably gonna break it up into let a verse and a chorus, and then stop it, and then go into the next verse and chorus, and then stop it, and then talk about the words and what the band is talking about, what the lead man is talking about. Again, hopefully my audio isn't breaking up too bad. If it is, again, this is very impromptu, so I already tried to fix it, and I have to dive in deeper, and I really just want to get all this stuff off my chest. I feel like that's 90% of my podcast, and my streams are just me impromptu, just talking. So without further ado, again, this is Jimmy Kimmel Live. This is their performance of this song, which is Heat Above. So I'm going to go ahead and let me transition this over here, and we're going to hit play. Now, guys, I am in the chat, so if you're whether you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, and you type a comment or a message or whatever, I will see it, and I can respond to it. Probably save a little bit of time at the end here, but let's go ahead and watch this together. Let me make sure all my audio is good here.
This is their new album, The Battle at Garden's Gate. It comes out Friday with the song Heat Above, Greta Van Fleet.
right, so we're gonna stop right here. Just one second. We're gonna stop right here, and what I want to do is just kind of read some of the lyrics that we're just saying, and talk about it. Oh, did it? Oh, whatever. Anyways, I went to another screen to look up some song lyrics and stuff, so I think it kind of blacked out for a little bit. But anyways, um, I want to look at some of the lyrics here. So that first verse, he talks about sorrows of the earth. May our tears of rain wash down to bathe you. Um, one, just the inflection, like I can't remember the melody that he sings. Sorrows of the earth, may our tears of rain wash down to bathe you. Like it's just so pretty. It's just so pretty and so nice, and it just rings. It just rings in your ear. And the way I was talking to my sister about it, and it just like this whole song is upbeat, but like the lyrics are very serious, and I think it's almost like a prayer. But like I told my sister, I said it just sounds like a calling out. It's like it's calling out to for people to just kind of wake up and realize, but also just it's a battle cry. It feels like a battle cry, and that's like a lot. I feel like we're missing that some of the music that we are today. There's another band that I've been listening to, but I don't like. There's another band I've been listening to, and it's in a different language, and I don't. But it's like a lot of the songs are war cries, and so it's really awesome. But anyways, this song, so "Sorrows of the Earth," and again, they have another song called "Tears of Rain," and so the "Tears of Rain" really rings to that one. And so when we go down, "Sorrows of the Earth." May our tears of rain wash down to bathe you. This is what life is worth when the fires still burn and rage all around. So he talks about the fires raging and the fires burning and the fires burning the ground in this song a lot. So what I think that is just these pockets of violence. Fires raging. If you look out at news within the past year, there was the riots going on. I remember reading somebody said something about riots that are going on right now. I have no clue about that. I haven't really been keeping up with the news lately, but so you have these pockets of violence, which can be viewed as fire that's starting. It's this fire that's burning and raging and everything like that. So these are things that are causing our world, our earth, sorrow. And so it's this calling out, like sorrows of the earth, may our tears of rain wash down to bathe you. Hopefully, the tears that we have, the tears that we shed, the sadness that we feel, the pain that we feel, the sympathy that we have, can cause the tears just to wash away all this fire. So then it goes, can you hear that dreadful sound, fire still burning on the ground? And that's what I'm saying, like that's the sorrow of the earth, is this fire raging on it, this fire raging on the ground. Follow the fearsome sound, the dreadful sound, the fearsome sound. You follow that sound, and as they march to battle, hear the drums pound. We do not fight for war. And now he's talking about this fearful sound, this dreadful sound, the fires that are raging. And then you see this battle, these people, they're marching out and their drums are pounding, they're marching through the beat of this drum, but we don't fight for war. We don't fight for the sake of fighting. We fight to save the lives of those who do fight. We are and I don't know what they mean by this, because there's so many meanings you can actually put in that, but if I were to say it, if it was me, and if I was to put in a meaning to it, I feel like this, and a lot of people have. I saw a lot of comments on the video, the YouTube video, of what people thought of the song, but that this is almost a song of nonviolence. This is a song of anti-war, I would almost say, but really nonviolence, because we don't fight for war, but we fight to save the lives of those who do fight. We wish that they would come to nonviolence as well, and they would see this. Can you hear the dreadful sound? Fire still burning on the ground. I don't know if we've got to the chorus yet, but I'm going to go back really quick, and then we're going to. I actually kind of want to go back and rewatch it just so you can see his facial expressions, because there when he says this line, I think when he says "bathe you," he does this "bathe you," and his facial expressions really sell the song, because again, it's the message is kind of heavy. It's heavy and hopeful at the same time. And you see this juxtaposition, which we'll talk about in a second, where it talks about this war, violence, fire burning. You hear the dreadful sound, but then he goes into another part of the song. The second half of the song is really the hopeful turnaround, and I feel like that's where the song is coming from. It's this hopeful call. But you'll be able to see this in a second. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to the beginning, and we're going to look at some of his facial expressions here. I'll go to here, so we don't have to listen to Jimmy Kimmel intro the song. Okay, so boom, and then all right, so we're going to pause it again for a second. So, gosh, it's just such a great song. I really love his growl when he says, like, "Can you hear the?" I really like that growl because if you think of that sound, he does it in a lot of songs, so it's not just he's not doing it for this reason. But like if you think about it this way, where the dreadful sound, it's like a scraping, it's like that dreadful sound. Can you hear that dreadful sound? Fires burning on the ground. And then again, you hear they follow the fearsome sound as they march to battle. Hear the drums pound. We do not fight for war, but to save the lives of those who do so. Can you hear the dreadful sound? Fire still burning on the ground. Then the chorus comes in, and the chorus, "Can you feel my love?" So this is I feel like this is him calling out to those who are fighting. Can you feel my love rising from the heat above? Life's the story of, and I really want to hone in on this one, especially from a Christian point of view. Again, I don't know if these guys are Christians. I don't know if this is what they meant. This is me kind of reading into it. This is me pulling out a meaning for it, because again, this song is just stuck in my head, and I feel like these lyrics are just so dense. Life's the story of ascending to the stars as one. Now, you can take this in a lot of different meanings, but I think from a Christian perspective, our life is our life as Christians is to ascend to the heavens, and that's a we're not going to get into all that, but that's a point of view. We're all working to go up into the heavens, into the stars, as one body, of Christ. And I mean that I think it's all world religions are like that. They want to, Hinduism, they want to, one with the earth and all that. But see, from a Christian perspective, we're ascending to the stars. We're ascending to majesty. We're ascending to heaven. But we want to do it all as one bride, all as one body, all as one world, all as one hope. And the thing that's stopping that is violence. Violence is the thing that's stopping the whole purpose of life. It's that Jewish principle of tikkun olam. It's this not reorganizing, but repairing the world. And we can't repair each other if we're fighting with each other all the time, if we're fighting with each other constantly. And so it's this call, I feel like it's this call to nonviolence. Can you feel my love for you rising with the heat above? I don't know what the heat above, but but heat rises, and if there's fire on the ground, maybe this is juxtaposition of bad fire and good fire. You have the bad fire that is violence, and you have the good fire that is the love that rises. Can you feel that? Life is the story of ascending to the stars as one. So now let's go into the next set of verses, and I feel like this is where, again, I feel like the chorus is where it shifts to a more positive message, and I feel like that's the whole tone of the song. It brings it all together. So let's go back here. Just such an awesome performance. Just super cool. Let's see. All right. So, of course, you see a comment on the bottom there. I'm not going to address that because that's not this type of stream. Anyways, so then the lyrics switch over to marching across the land is a peaceful army joining the band, walking hand in hand to an anthem loudly sung where they stand. So again, you can take this many different ways. Like if I could take it as like, we're all protesting together, we're all standing together for, this cause, that cause, whatever. But again, I'm really looking at it through the lens of just nonviolent resistance. Nonviolence is the lens that I'm kind of viewing this song through, and I feel like it plays very well to it. Um, so if we continue to look at these lyrics, um, I just think it speaks for itself. Marching across the land is a peaceful army joining the band. So we have this, if again from a Christian point of view, uh, the army of God. This army, God is known as the Lord of Hosts in the Bible, and so we have this army, and they're just marching across. They're marching across the land. They're marching across uh, the world, and there's all these fires burning, and we see the sorrow that the earth is going through with all of this violence, with all of this chaos, with all of this fighting, and we hope that the tears that we shed for the earth, for the people on the earth, um, bathe it and bathe it in empathy and sympathy, and that what we can do is as we go out and we fight for those who fight in war, we fight to save the lives, and we fight through the songs that we sing, we fight through the love that we show, because that's what the chorus is. Can you feel my love rising with the heat above? Life's the story of ascending to the stars as one, and we can't do that through violence. So marching across the land is this peaceful army joining the band. We're all joining in together, walking hand in hand to an anthem loudly where they stand. Can you hear the dreadful sound? Fire still burning on the ground. Can you feel my love rising with the heat above? Life's the story of ascending to the stars as one. Beautiful lyrics, beautiful, deep lyrics that I feel like a lot of songs nowadays just don't encapsulate. And I say a lot of songs too because as a Christian who recently was attending a kind of a mega church, I guess you would call it, and had multi-site campus and things like that, non-denominational, and a lot of the songs that we sang, I feel compared to this song, fall flat. They fall flat because the depth that's there. A lot of the worship songs that are sang in churches today are, I feel, are very hollow. They're very surface. Um, a lot. Some of them are quoting psalms and things like that, and so I can't call them hollow. Without being blasphemous toward the Bible. And that's one thing I'm not doing, is I'm not saying that the word of God isn't sufficient enough, but a lot of times when we hear music and we hear songs, one thing that we're missing, and I feel like we're missing this a lot in our Christian worship sets, is battle cries, but battle cries like this one. This feels very, to me, it feels very much like a battle cry, but it's very much a battle cry of peace, and it's a battle cry of spreading that peace throughout the world, and really being just this army of love. And that's not to that's not to. I know a lot of people are going to take this the wrong way, but it's mostly just about nonviolence. It's about nonviolence. Sure, it's about acceptance, but it's mostly about nonviolence. I think, or at least I feel that. And I think that's why the song resonates with me so much. There's another song that they have, and I'm not going to play it, but I just want to read some of the lyrics from it. Because another thing that I really like about this song is it's Black Smoke. Another thing I like about the song that I just played, which is Heat Above. Another thing I really like about that song is that it just feels epic in nature. I was even telling my wife the first couple of times I listened to it, I was like, man, it feels like, because I'm getting ready to do a Dungeons and Dragons campaign and stuff like that, And so Dungeons and Dragons is all about like trying to get a party together to go and go on adventures and things like that, and quests. And so I was like, man, this song really feels like a band of misfits coming together and learning how to be a team. That's what this song feels like. And that's and again, even going through the lyrics, that's exactly what it feels like. It just feels like this band of people have to get over their differences and stop infighting so that they can go out and do good for the world. Um, that's what this song feels like. And with especially when you have lyrics like, spreading across the land. Spreading across the land is this army, that marches, um, I don't want to butcher all the lyrics to it, so I'm gonna look it up again really quick. Um, yeah, marching across the land is a peaceful army joining the band. And just the opening lyrics: "Sorrows of the earth, may our tears of rain wash down to bathe you." That's just super poetic. That's some poetic stuff, and we're missing a lot of that in our music today in general. But um, that's one of the things that I feel like we miss out a lot on with current worship music and stuff like that. Is unless they're pulling from Psalms, there's almost no poeticness of it. It's just kind of like oh, I'm a baby in your arms, Lord, you love me so much, you know, um, where I feel like this song just has like such a good message. So there's another song that they have, and again, this is the band Greta Van Fleet. Fleet. I keep saying Fleet. Greta Van Fleet. It's called Black Smoke Rising, and you know what? I am going to play a little bit of that one just because it's just so good. Um, and this is such a good song, and I actually want to play. They did a, yeah, they did. They were in a studio setting. Hold on.
Or biker clubs in the.
Yeah. Well,
They're doing this
tell us
awesome
about
interview.
the song.
It was more of a contemporary, one of the more contemporary songs that we've written about a year ago now, and so it's kind of a song about history and lessons of history and archetypes and things like that. It's a broad song, and I kind of like.
He said, interpret it yourself.
I like to, I like to let people get the idea.
Right, that's the great thing about songwriting. It can mean something completely different to another fan.
Which is what it should.
So he makes the point that any song can mean anything to a different fan. But one of the things that he does say is that this is a song about archetypes, and I think that's what we miss that so much in our music today is just archetypes, taking things that are old and things that are recognized. What we want to do nowadays with music is be descriptive. So like, I on one of my Facebook posts today, I posted something about this song called Butter, which I've never ever heard in my life. I still didn't even hear it. I just read the lyrics of it. But it was somehow, spread butter, something like that. But that's what we want to be descriptive instead of being able to take archetypes from history. And that's what the Bible is. The Bible is a lot of archetypes. You have like archetypes of fire, archetypes of gardens, archetypes of towers and things like that. And so you have this building block that you can build a story from. And so again, this song sounds very epic as well because it's built on that basis. And I was telling my sister, it feels very mythological, the way that they build these songs. And these guys are like here in this clip that I'm showing you right now, they're only 21. So they're relatively young. And a lot of people say, yeah, they pull from Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. Sure, whatever. And they sound a lot like Led Zeppelin. Sure, whatever. But like, listen to the lyrics. Like these lyrics that they wrote themselves is very deep, is very dense. So let's listen to this one real quick here. And the reason I like this clip is because he does a lot of hand movements and gestures. There's better audio of it, of course, but the hand gestures that he does of this song is just, it feels like he's telling you a story. It just feels like that he's telling you the story.
Could mean to them.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, let's hear it.
So here they go. Okay. Ridiculous, right? Ridiculous. Just absolutely insane. This kid's vocal range. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the lyrics. So he says, this first verse is, I didn't know there was a tower where they look out to the land. So it's already got this epic feel. It almost feels a lot like a Game of Thrones or something like that. You know, you just have this tower that's sitting in the land and it's looking out to all the people, and the people are just passing by the land. This is for their own desire. You know, I don't know. This is, again, this one's more about just I don't know all the depth of this one. I haven't really gone into this one, but it just feels epic in nature. So I don't know if this is the people who built the tower, the people who are on the tower, the people who are passing by. Is it their desire? I don't know, but the poeticness of these lyrics. There's this council, there's this tower sitting in the land. It's looking over these people. The people are passing by. This is of their own desire as they spit down to the earth to feel the power boiling in their veins. So I'm thinking it's the people that are in the tower, and that they watch the people and they spit down to them. So there's people in, you can see that these people in their high castles, there's people that are sitting up. They're sitting up and they're watching everyone else, the lowly people, from their high tower, and they just spit out to them, and just so that they can feel power boiling in their veins. That's, gosh. So then the song goes into, and the black smoke rises from the fires we've been told. So you have, and where there's smoke, there's fire. And this is even good biblical language as well. If you wanted to go that route, I don't think that this song is less that way. It's more epic nature, more archetypal nature. So you can still think of it as very mythological. But smoke and fire is a sign of judgment in the Bible. So you can see that here as well. Or we can transpose the idea that we had from the last song we were talking about into this one as violence. You know, you have this violence you have this black smoke of judgment or death, destruction, that's coming from the fires that we've been told it comes from the fires. We've been told it comes from our violence, you know, or the judgment that's been cast upon us. We've been told that. It's the new age crisis, and we will stand up in the cold. Stand up in the cold. I don't know exactly what that means. I know that, like, I think that the new age crisis is talking about how, like, we want to put out all these fires. We want to stop all this smoke that's going on, but it's hard, and it's just a new crisis that's come up on the earth, you know. But again, you have these people who are in their towers, and they just spit on people as they walk by, so that they can feel their own power, and they're probably the ones that are telling you that look at the smoke. It's coming from the fire. It's coming from the violence. It's coming from out there, not in here. Hope that's thunder. But we down on the earth, we stand in the cold. So let's go to let's listen to the next verse here.
Oh, many people are dividing, and a world apart with just one heart is bound to kill and fade away. None of us will be deciding, and the fate of man is in the hands of he who stands and heeds the call. Whoa, yeah, yeah. Whoa, yeah, yeah. And the black smoke rises from the fires we all told. It's the new age crisis. We will stand up in the cold. Stand up in the cold.
All right, he's about to take a drink of water. That's funny because he cracked his voice, so he's taking a sip of water. It's pretty funny. Okay, so I want to try to wrap this up because there's thunder outside. But so let's talk about the last verse because I think it's the last verse, and then it just kind of goes back into the chorus a little bit more. So many people are dividing. Again, this is that idea of violence and this idea of just rivalry that pervades, and this is a lot of themes of this that I'm getting from this is that kind of that Rene Girard, violence that comes from division, that comes from I just said the word that comes from rivalry. Many people are dividing. We have these rivalries. In a world with just one heart, we all have the same goal, and that's just to live our lives, with hope and freedom. And again, our whole purpose in the world is to ascend into the stars as one. So we're dividing, but yet we have the same heart. Let's read this. And a world apart with just one heart is bound to kneel and fade away. So because we're being divided, we have this one heart, we're being divided and torn apart, and it's bound to make us kneel and fade to the people in the tower who are spitting on us, telling us that the fire is coming from that the smoke is coming from somewhere else. It's coming from the fire. The division that is you, which it is. We're dividing ourselves, but the people in the tower are also dividing us, telling us that there's smoke out there, not up here. We're not, they're spitting on you so that they can feel the power in their veins, and they're causing division down there, and we're standing in the cold. None of us will be deciding, and the fate of man is in the hands of he who stands and heeds the call. That's my favorite line of this whole song. None of us will be deciding, and the fate of man is in the hands of he who stands and heeds the call. And that's why I really liked watching this video, because he says, and the fate of man is in the hands of he who stands and heeds the call. He even points out the call. And what's the call? What is the call? Well, if we, again, extrapolate the meaning that we took from the other song, which Black Smoke Rising came out first, but if we kind of extrapolate this idea, you can even do it from internally from this song's lyrics. If the problem is being divided by the people in the tower, then what's the call? The call is unity outside of the oppression and outside of the influence of the people in the tower. Don't walk by the tower anymore. do not look up at the tower for your influence. Be your own person. Let the fire, and this isn't to say we'll eat the rich, or anything like that, but this is just to say don't let the rich influence you and spit on you and then tell you that the violence is coming from somewhere else. That's the one who heeds the call. That's the one, the fate is in your hands. The one who heeds that call, the call to nonviolence. That's what I think. And so, but again, this song and the last song, just such epic scale to communicate something that's so internal, something that's so within us, something that's within our capabilities to do. And that's why I just love this band. I love what they're saying here. And if this is, again, he said it in this interview that he allows people to kind of, read their own meaning into the songs, and that he thinks that's great. But they were writing for a reason. They're writing something. They don't want to just like, hey, I just want you to, I want you to get whatever you get out of it. I want you to, they want you to get a message out of it, something out of it. And again, he says it's very archetypal. It's a story that's been told. What's the story that's been told throughout time and time again is violence that we perpetuate on each other. And what's the end of that violence? Well, if you're a Christian, the end of that violence was Jesus Christ. He's the only one who can end that violence. And the only way that you're going to end the violence is to heed the call of Jesus, accept him as your Lord and Savior, and stop being violent. And that's not going to come, I don't think that's going to come outside of Christ, because within ourselves, we don't have that capability to stop being violent. It's a contagion. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for me. I just really wanted to break that song down, and I ended up breaking 2 songs down. But again, I want to take it back to churches. I feel like a lot of churches are very much about us, and what I mean by that is it's not like this is also about us. All of this is about us, but this is a call to change. These 2 songs are about a call to change, a call to join in a peaceful army, a call to end violence, a call to stop allowing people to spit on you. Where in church we sing songs, about, Daddy who loves us, which he does, but it's very much, the Lord's gonna bless us. The Lord's gonna, graves in the gardens. Good father, you're a good daddy. You give me stuff when I ask for it. You give me blessings. You bless me. Yeah. When I think that as Christians, what we need to be calling for people, and of course, churches, you're giving reverence to God and what God has done in your life. That's what worship should be. Again, I feel like a lot of these songs that I just mentioned, not the 2 from Greta Van Fleet, but the ones that are sung in church, tend to stray away from even that, praising God. Like they tend to stray away from even that. They do it a little bit, but they do it in the simple fact that, like, God, you bless me, you're great. God, you bless me, you're great. When you have the old hymns, like, it is well with my soul, even when things look like garbage, even when my whole family dies in a shipwreck, it is well with my soul. Those are the songs of old. But if you go to a church today, it's a lot of, God, thank you for blessing me. Thank you for giving me stuff. Thank you for proving yourself time and time again. When I'm in struggle, you come to my rescue. But there's a lot of people out there who, when they pray for help, the rescue doesn't come. But then you have the Christians who are like, oh, well, it's all God's timing. You just got to wait. And so they give you something to hope for that, may never come. But what they're never going to do is sing a song that says, What we need to do is we need to turn around and be sympathetic toward each other. And if somebody is in need, then we need to go out and be the body of Christ and be the hands and feet and bless that person. That person is struggling. That fellow Christian is struggling. That non-Christian is struggling. And we're supposed to be the body of Christ, and we're supposed to reach out our hand and say, you know, your sins are forgiven. Your sins are forgiven. How can I bless you today? How can I serve you today? But what we want to do is we want to sell them rock concerts and bounce houses instead of giving them a call to heed. All right, guys. Love you guys. This is very impromptu. I'll probably throw this audio up onto the podcast if it's getting good. I don't know how this. It was very jittery at first, so I don't know if it's still like that or not. Hopefully, all of this came through. If not, well then, this was me getting a lot of stuff off my chest, and it sounded good to me. All right. Love you guys, and I'll catch you on. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can time this right. I don't know where the ending is here. Let's see if I can time this right here. Love you guys. I'll see you guys. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. This is the ending music to my podcast. See you. Logo done.